and welcome back to another episode of PrepTalk podcast. I'm your host, Vartika Bhandari. Today, we are going to talk about everything related to IB, how the students can benefit out of the IB curriculum and the process of admissions that goes under for an IB student. To answer all the questions, we have with us Charu Malhotra from Pathway School, Noida, and she has been a counselor there for quite some time and has some great insights to share with all the students out here. So, without further ado, let's get started with the podcast. Hello, Charu ma'am. Welcome to the podcast. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you, Vartika. So kind of you to invite me for this, and I'm very keen to answer some important questions which may be helpful for the students.
Of
Yep.
course, it's a pleasure to have you here. So, before we get on to the questions, we would like you to introduce and let the listeners know a little bit about yourself and your journey with the IB students.
So my name is Charu Malhotra. Currently, I'm the college advisor at Pathway Schools, Noida. I'm heading the
Mhm,
department of college advisory. I've been in this field from the past 11 to 12 years. Earlier, I
mhm,
was working on psychometric testing, and now
mhm,
guiding students to make a good profile, to focus on subject selections and reach their dream best fit university. That's
mhm.
my journey. My passion is definitely speaking to students and getting them into their correct university gives me a kick, to be very honest, and I love doing that.
All right, all right. So we'll move on to the first question. That is, how IB curriculum benefits the student when it comes to their college admissions. Is there any benefit, or is there a push that IB curriculum provides to the students when it comes to looking at a inclusive profile of a student?
Yeah, so that's a very good question to start with, Vartika.
Yeah.
So IB curriculum is a very holistic curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
It's a curriculum which doesn't have something like a rote learning.
Mm-hmm.
Very The learning in IB is very inquiry based.
Mm-hmm.
Curriculum which will help you and help the students to polish their research skills, their critical thinking skills. So if you
Mm-hmm.
see an IB student, and if we give you a layman example, an IB
Mm-hmm.
student in grade 11, that is DP1, will know how to write a research paper. They will know
Right.
how to do citations. They will know how to write a bibliography, which work
Mm-hmm.
vis-a-vis a CBSE student may not do. I'm not saying all of
Mm-hmm.
it, but because that is not what is taught. So IB is very conceptual learning. It's very research based learning, and I feel the curriculum is very holistic and it prepares you very, very well for college. It's an excellent curriculum for people who want to get into liberal arts or who want to, to be honest, polish their conceptual learning.
Mm-hmm.
Something which also is very, very good for people who want to get into, want to learn more about global mindedness. So,
Mm-hmm.
good holistic curriculum.
Mhm. All right. So there comes a point in life of every student who is enrolled in IB, and a lot of students also shift from different curriculums to IB to show that they are very good at academics and show that they've enrolled in a very in a curriculum that is widely known across the globe, right? So there comes a point when they have to decide if they want to pursue a higher level like AHL or the levels that IB has after the 10th of the student. And then there's SL. How should a student ensure that whatever choice they are making obviously depends on the student's capability also to handle a particular subject in a higher or a standard level, but then there's also a reason that the bifurcation exists right in front of the university. So how will the universities pursue the choice?
I'll address this question, Vartika, in two parts. The
Okay.
first thing is that how does a student choose his subjects? That's the
Mhm.
first question I think we should
Right,
address, right?
right.
When a student comes to DP1, which is grade 11 of IB,
Mhm,
given a choice of six subjects. So
mhm,
The IB diploma program has six
mhm,
subjects, along with two things which are called TOK, extended essay, and of course the
mhm.
CAS, which is a very
Right.
essential for the fight. Now, in the six subjects, they have to choose three HLs, that is higher
Mhm.
level, and three standard level subjects.
Okay.
Now, the first thing how the student needs to choose these subjects is very, very important because it has a great
Mhm.
impact on your university that you're going to further choose. So,
Right.
as I would advise any student in any
Mhm.
curriculum is first see your academic strengths. See
Mhm.
what you're good at, what you like doing.
Mhm.
Every subject that you take, to be honest,
Mhm.
leads you to a certain career path. So
Mhm.
there's a road ahead. So try to see where you see yourself standing 5 years from now.
Mhm.
See your aptitude, see your interest. Now, a very, very important, point there, that there is a difference between an aptitude and an interest. I may have an interest to paint, but I might not have the
Mhm.
aptitude. So
Right.
focus on your strengths and then choose that, okay, probably tomorrow, if I want to get into medicine, then
Mhm.
higher level subjects should be focused on areas which enrich you with knowledge to get into medicine. So biology and chemistry definitely will come at an higher level.
Right.
Similarly, tomorrow you want to become a lawyer. You would look at global politics. You would look at history. Subject
Mhm.
enrich you in that area.
Right.
Also, a very, very important recommendation for the students is that research. That okay, if I want to study in say UK and I want to get into economics, I will
Mhm.
math at a higher level. So there is something which when you look at every university website, which is
Mhm.
called recommended subject and required subject. So
Mhm.
universities, a recommended subject for computer science could be physics and maths. But
Right.
required subject may not be physics. They would recommend that you have physics at a higher level, but not
Mhm.
physics. So the more you research when you're coming into DP and see that what your career path you want to take, what are the subjects that suit that career path,
Mhm.
subjects should be taken at a higher level, and standard level can be the ones which you probably don't want to. So somebody who wants to get into law may not want to take math at a higher level. So
Right.
but having said that, IB is a very holistic program. You
Mhm.
need a language, you need to have a foreign language, you need to have
Mhm.
mathematics. So IB
Mhm.
lets you dive into each and every subject and taste a little bit of each and every subject till the very end.
Right. Right. All right. So you mentioned about extended essays and how it is a significant component of IB, right? So how can students choose the topic they want to write the essay on, and also in the same way fulfill the requirement of the IB?
So this is a very important part, the extended essay. It's a
Right.
4,000 word sort of a research paper which they have to submit, and they
Mm-hmm.
have around 1.5 years to work on it.
Okay.
So a recommendation, but not a requirement, making it very
Okay.
clear out there, is
Okay.
take a extended essay from a higher level subjects. Try
Okay.
to tag them in with what you want to do in undergraduate. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe I want to do business management. Then you
Mm-hmm.
can take an extended essay in that area because it will help you to deep dive into that topic. It will help you to research in that topic. So you'll,
Mm-hmm.
students doing an extended essay. If I want to get into say computer science, I would probably
Mm-hmm.
say on the future of 5G or XYZ, right? Because that will give me more knowledge about that area of computer science, which probably I
Mm-hmm.
would pursue. Having said that, all the IB schools are equipped with excellent mentors who give you very good feedback on the extended essay. So consult your teachers, take feedback, work on it consistently, and then you will manage to churn out an excellent extended essay, not only in terms of marking, but also in terms of the knowledge. You will see that it is very, very useful for you
Mm-hmm.
in university.
All right. All right. And what about the standardized test element of a student in IB? So is it important, because we have heard that a lot of IB students do not require to take AP unless they are enrolling for a course which is necessary to show them the caliber in, let's say, a student from so you know how AP and IB works. They're not necessarily they don't necessarily need to take the AP exam. But then what about standardized test? How does that particular element boost a student?
So now this is a very important question again. Before you go in for when you get into DP, what I would the milestone that the students should follow that once they're in DP, it's
Mhm.
high time you start recognizing which country are you targeting.
Right.
So if I'm targeting US or even India or even Singapore for that matter,
Hmm.
so you understand that the SET is beneficial.
Right.
It's not mandatory, but definitely
Hmm.
an SAT is something, or an ACT for that matter, is something that is a table to measure maybe a student from Japan versus a
Hmm.
student from India to a student in US. You're giving the same exam, it's one level. So I would personally say that it holds a lot of important value, but
Mhm.
depending on the country. Maybe UK doesn't look at the SAT, but US
Mhm.
definitely does. So
Yeah.
whether an IB student, whether a CBSE student, an SAT is a must if you're looking into these areas.
Mhm.
Also recommended one thing which I see the students making a mistake is Vartika, they get into class 11 and then 6 months is honeymooning period. You are like chilling because you've just studied so much for grade 10. And by the
Mhm.
time you realize you're in class 12, that is not the time to start working on it. So
Right.
immediately after grade 10, you have that 10 days enjoy after exams, chill for 15 days, but then get on to studying and preparing for the SAT. Make a note on your notice board at home, make a milestone that, okay, my first attempt I'll give here and second attempt here. So by the time you're done with grade 11, you should be probably done with your SAT because
Right.
the score will help you decide and make a sensible university list. The score will also help you to decide that, okay, if I've given the SSD, probably in the next university, I don't need to give the assessment for the
Mhm.
entrance. So all these things are important. Regarding the AP, to be honest, the first thing that each and every university says for an IB student is you will only take the APs if you are already doing very well in your IB. And my
Mhm.
recommendation would be that if you are already doing some HL subjects, don't
Mhm.
do that AP, probably support it with another AP if you want
Right.
to increase your knowledge. So you've got,
Right.
say, economics, you can add a statistics AP. But
Mhm.
definitely, if you're doing well in the IB, we don't want to see students scoring a 3 and a 4 in IB and then going on to take the burden of 3 APs. No, please don't.
Right.
Focus on your IB and SAT, of course, you should go.
Hmm. And we have seen recently the news have come up a lot of Ivy Leagues for that matter, Dartmouth and Yale have reinstated the requirement for the SAT.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
SAT, as I said, Vartika, it is one table to measure a
hmm.
lot of things. Now, my school or an ex school may be marking in a different way. A
Hmm.
school in US versus a school in India versus a school in Singapore might be having a separate marking scheme. Of course, the
Hmm.
internal exams are very important, but this test helps you to put all of the children in one
Right.
class. Definitely, you should take it.
Right. Absolutely. So, if we talk about a lot of students switching their curriculum to IB, coming from CBSE or ICSE, what benefit or do you think they would have, or should they take that decision because it's a huge switch from the curriculum they're coming from to the curriculum they want to come to, like IB is very different from what CBSE and ICSE is. So, what are your thoughts on that, and what would you recommend to the students who are planning to take such decisions?
So that's a very difficult question, to be honest. All the boards are excellent, whether it's
Mhm.
ICSE, whether it's
Right.
CBSE, whether IB or AP. They are all excellent boards. CBSE is more rigorous when it comes to science and mathematics. It does have
Right.
root learning, but it is super rigorous when it comes to science and mathematics. And also, if you're planning to give the JEE or the NEET, probably CBSE is for you. IB is also an excellent curriculum, which is very,
Mhm.
very interdisciplinary. As I said,
Mhm.
the study approach is more holistic. It is very research based, which prepares you very, very well for university. And students who want to get into that area of holistic learning, interdisciplinary learning,
Right.
research based learning, somebody who has excellent writing skills or wants to brush up their writing skills, IB is an excellent curriculum for them. Even when it comes to sciences, IB has a very conceptual approach, and the critical thinking, the logical thinking is excellent in IB.
Mhm.
One important factor to consider shifting to IB, and this is a very personal opinion, is the timing. So if you're in grade 9, probably it's a good time to shift. If you're in grade 11, you have to think before shifting. If you're doing very well in your CBSE subjects and you think you have that hold on research skills and critical thinking skills, definitely it's a good shift. It's possible to do
All right, all right. So, ma'am, recently we celebrated the Children's Mental Health Week, and we put out a lot of information on awareness of students' mental health, which is very important when you talk about the kind of rigor they have to go through in order to get into a good college and the college they dream of. There are extracurriculars, there are academics. There are also the other things they have to do, right? So what would you advise to the teachers that are dealing with the students and the parents who, whose child is looking forward for the abroad education, so that they can take care and have an environment where they are taken care of in a good manner, and so that they don't feel the pressure uh, in a way that their mental health is affected.
I totally agree, Vartika. The students nowadays take the competition also is also immense, so my
Right,
heart goes out to them,
right,
and they
right,
take a lot of anxiety and they do get stressed out very easily. So I
right.
think parents and teachers play a very very important role.
Mm-hmm.
A message to the parents is that you don't need to be a helicopter parent, but
Mm-hmm.
be a part of the journey with your child.
Right.
Discuss, have conversations. If they are going through a low phase or not doing really well in any particular subject, guide them, see where they are going wrong. Guidance is very, very important.
Right.
Teachers also play a very important role. They are mentors, they are friends, they are there to guide the children. And even in turn, the children also should go to the teachers and speak to them, take
Mm-hmm.
back, understand where they're going wrong. And especially in terms of anxiety and stress, I think nowadays even schools have become very, very aware. And
Mm-hmm.
even parents have become very aware. And we are all there to guide the children.
Right.
Mental health is absolutely very important. Nothing above that. And we should be a support and a complete support for the students in this journey.
Right. Right. So, ma'am, we come on to the last question with that. So, what would your piece of advice be for the students who are looking for abroad education and looking forward to getting into the universities that they dream of?
Yeah. So not only education abroad, but everywhere, I think it's
Mm-hmm.
very important that from grade 9 onwards, the students start getting a little bit more informative about the journey ahead. So
Right.
start with creating a good academic plan. As I
Mm-hmm.
said, I always call it reverse planning. So see
Mm-hmm.
yourself where you see yourself standing 5 years from now and then plan backwards. That okay,
Mm-hmm.
this is probably my choice of subjects. Then maintain an academic record, a good academic record. By saying this, it doesn't mean that if you're doing badly in a subject in grade 9 or 10, it's the end of the world. But see that how you can improve it. Probably if it's mathematics, giving 20 minutes, try to give 50 minutes from the next. Right? Speak to people in the career fields you want to go to. So it's good to understand that, okay, if I want to become a doctor, what work
Mm-hmm.
balance does medicine hold? It's good to speak to alumni who are already in that field to understand what your job function would hold when you go to a certain profession.
Right.
Make informative decisions and then start planning your 6 monthly targets that, okay, this 6 months I have to maintain my extracurriculars. What you need to do in your extracurriculars, please prioritize. You don't have to be everywhere. There are some students who want to do debate, they want to do cancer support, they want to do running, they want to do XYZ. Colleges are looking at everything, but they want to see your passion. And we know you have lots to manage. There's a huge, your academics are there, your standardized testing is there. So prioritize and then
Right.
make an informative decision. But if you start early, as early as class 9, then and you milestone your journey, then the college application process will come easily, and you will definitely get into the best fit. And by best fit, I want to emphasize the best fit does not only mean Ivy League. There are several universities there. Try to research. Maybe an X university has a computer course which is much better than an Ivy League as well. So try
Right.
to research and find a university where you're happy. You're a happy person. You are enjoying the university. You're enjoying your student life. And of course, you're doing well, right?
All right. All right. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being a part and for
But
giving out
I
that
hope
information.
I answer the questions and I hope it's beneficial for those who hear it. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you so much, Arma. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.